All right. Well, I think it's going to work. YouTube seems kind of delayed with streaming, so I'm just going to start talking and assume that it's working. So I made the decision that whenever I start working on a personal project now, whenever I have the time, I'm just going to stream myself doing it. There's a few reasons why I was interested in doing this. I was hoping to practice conveying information and conveying my own thoughts. This is something that I've kind of been working on in the past, and I think it's kind of been shown a little bit in some of the like FTC tutorial videos that I've made and things like that, but I really want to get good at speaking clearly and articulating kind of my thought process. So I'm going to try to do that here and practice not only explaining my thought process to myself in a way that just me can understand, but also in a way that other people can understand. Another reason why I want to do this is I feel like I'm going to be more productive just knowing that someone else is going to be watching me as I do this. That may or may not actually ever be true. It's entirely possible that when I'm doing this, no one's going to be paying attention, which is fine by me, but doing this is, I think, going to help me stay focused on a task. So for the first few times that I do this, I'm probably not going to do it for more than maybe an hour. I'm going to try to get to an hour today and kind of see where we end up, but this is not something that I'm going to force myself to do. I hope that maybe some people find this interesting and kind of how my thought process works, and maybe about how programming is if they're getting started. I think a lot of people can get lost in starting to program when they're first starting out because they see all these big systems with hundreds of thousands of lines of code on GitHub, maybe even millions, and they don't really understand how they could possibly start working on something like that. So I think this kind of zoomed in approach, me working on my own small personal projects, that are no more than 1,000 lines long, at least at this point. Maybe in a few years when I'm doing this, I'll have stuff that's hopefully bigger, but for right now, I think giving this kind of zoomed in approach will be helpful for some people. And I just feel like a lot of the times when I'm thinking through things, I realize that I think about things a lot differently than some other people. So hopefully this will be maybe useful to some people, useful to myself. I'll watch this back myself, listen to myself talk, listen to myself think, and kind of self-analyze a little bit. I feel like that's something that a lot of people are missing, is they're not reflective of what they're doing, and there's like no awareness there. And I think that's a big separation from some people that are super successful versus some people that just kind of go through life doing whatever, and they don't really think about things in any sort of structured way. So I hope that I can get better at talking, get better at conveying my thoughts, and in the meantime, I'm not afraid to make a fool of myself and make myself look stupid. So those are kind of some of the reasons why I decided that I'm going to start streaming whenever I sit down to just work on a personal project for a little bit. I don't know if this is something I'm going to keep doing. This is just something that I'm going to try and kind of see where it takes me. I'll find out if this is something I want to keep doing or not. But in the short term, I hope that I find it useful. In the long term, maybe this will be something I keep doing, and I can look back on this in the future and kind of reflect on what I was thinking at the time and how I've become a better person, become smarter, more intelligent, maybe improved as a programmer, hopefully. All right, so with that out of the way, I'm just gonna start working on a couple things that I wanted to do today, and maybe if I think about something that I want to talk about, I'll just go on kind of a side tangent and talk about it. If you see me looking up while I'm doing this, I'm looking at my second monitor. This is still kind of a test of what this might look like, so I want to make sure that I'm actually paying attention to what's going on and make sure that this is actually working. So OBS doesn't really like me. It says I'm dropping frames. We'll see if this computer is able to do this or not. I'm just on my laptop. I don't have a desktop that's set up for any sort of programming right now. So I'm just gonna carry on with my laptop. We'll see how this ends up working. But for now, I'm just gonna get started, and hopefully this goes well, and I don't make an absolute fool out of myself. But if I do, that's kind of what we're here for, right? So I'm just gonna open up the project that I've been working on, and we're just gonna kind of continue it from here. So PyGM or GPM is my Python Git project manager that I'm kind of been working on. I'm not going to really explain it a whole lot. I'm just going to kind of go through what I was thinking about this morning when I wanted to work on this. So I wanted to start adding status messages, tabulate for better console. I'm going to add this and then add PR and issue status to list PR and issues to status command. And then the other thing is the config. I wanted to I'm not sure that this is correct anymore. I'll put this here. So I'm just going to say that I'm going to do these things for now, and then maybe there's some more stuff that I wanted to do later. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. This text is a little big. There we go. And the other thing I wanted to do, okay, so I'm gonna look to pip for this, and I'm going to go to parser and main parser. Config option parser. Updates its defaults by checking configuration files. Self.config. Where's this used? Section key override. Well, let's see, what do I really want to get out of this right now? So we're getting a configuration. I think how I'm going to do this is going to be a lot differently than how they did it. Let's see, what are they using? Not the same thing I'm using, that's for sure. That's the other thing I have to do is I want to get rid of this, but I'll leave that for now. I don't really see a point in getting rid of this currently. I kind of need it. I need to redo the whole default thing here, but class configuration. Okay, so this is a problem that I've noticed with a lot of, maybe not a lot of, but some of the projects that I've looked at more recently, especially some of the Python projects, like this is pip. This is probably the Python project. It's like more or less done. Like there's not a whole lot you can add to it. It's a package manager. It does what it's supposed to do. But there is so much boilerplate and object-oriented added complexity for seemingly no reason. So there's a lot of like things like this, like load self, load config. I guess this is potentially something that I would do myself just to help with branching a little bit, which is maybe something that I should actually do in status because this run command is just way too much. Yeah, that was actually a particularly bad example for me to pull from. But there's some other stuff like the, let's see, how do I even want to go about this? So like parse command. I don't really know how to explain this. So this main file calls parse command, and then there's a bunch of random other stuff. Actually, the best possible example that I can probably draw from this is the command stuff. So all of the pip commands are separated into classes, which is something I do here as well. So like each one of these commands has a command class that it inherits from, which is like really short and just contains a bunch of like pretty simple things that each command does just to make it more consistent. But this command mixin, did I do that right? Command, oh, context mixed in. So command context. So we have this command class, and as far as I can tell, this is something to do with keeping track of not only context but the cleanup of it. So there's something that pip is doing. I don't know if it's multi-threading or some performance benefit, or maybe it's just making sure that you're not running more than one instance of the same thing at the same time. I don't really know, but they have this command context mixin. And then if you go to the base command, they have the regular old class command, which is inheriting from the command context mixin. And then they have something else. So if I go to the install command, the install command is inheriting from requirement command. And if I find where that is, requirement command from rec command, the requirement command inherits from index group command, and index group command inherits from command and session command mixin. Session command mixin inherits from command context mixin, and if you remember that this is the top thing. So what's happening here is we have this this session command. Let's see, can I go back? I want to go back to index group command. So this index group command is inheriting from both command and session command, and both of these inherit from command context mixin. So what happens is you get this object-oriented triangle of class inheritance. So you have the command context mixin, which is inherited from both command and session command, and then this index group command inherits from both of those. So you get seemingly two different inheritances of the same command context mixin class, and then it becomes kind of weird. There's some problems with Python that I know about. I don't know so much about it that I could explain it in a way that Python programmers would know about, but you know what I'm saying. There's super, and there's some problems with calling super from these classes because you don't actually know which inheritance version you're calling if you call multiple layers of super at the same time, which I don't know if this is particularly a problem with how these commands are inheriting from each other. Perhaps that is what command context mixin is for. It allows for this, but this kind of behavior just seems like really unnecessary. I'm not sure what the exact design decisions that went into doing this in the first place, but it just makes things unnecessarily complicated in my opinion. Perhaps there's an engineer that could explain to me why it was done in this way, but for me it just doesn't make any sense. All right, that was that was a good little side tangent there. So what was I actually looking at? I was looking at the parser, and config option parser grabs the config, which I'm kind of doing here. So I have a global config. I don't really want to create it more than once, so I'm just gonna, yeah, there's no reason for this to be a state that is specific to an individual command, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. But I will make the config option parser. Let's see, so then they have the custom option parser, which is insert option group, option list all of, insert option group at a given position. Okay, yeah, I don't care about that. I just care about the config thing. So we have get ordered configuration. Okay, update defaults. This is what I care about. Late eval, option string val, args option, defaults. So there's like this default dictionary, yeah, okay. And so what? It doesn't, how, so we have this option parser, parse args, command args. So I guess on, no, not on an initialization. On parse args, we have to call super, and then we have to call the custom update defaults. Yeah, so like, this is another thing that I've seen a lot in pip, is there's like a ton of separation between different actions that are seemingly should be connected. So in this custom options parser, there's like a whole separate dictionary of defaults that exists, but I don't understand why you can't just update the defaults after calling parse args. I'm not really sure why there's a problem in doing that. I'm gonna do it like that, and then we'll see if something bad comes of it. I'll parse values self.default. Yeah, see, I don't really get it. Accumulate complex default state. What does that mean? What is complex default state? Then set the options with those values. Configuration supports only log names. Self.get option. Option. If option is not none. Oh, I kind of get it. Wait, no, that still doesn't make sense. Suppress value error, suppress value error. Why not just include both of those? I guess if you get a... No, that would still not make sense. Let's see here. Well, I guess I could do the more straightforward thing first. And okay, I'm getting kind of distracted now because of how bad this code is. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna keep these out of the class for now. So we want a output, or what do I want to call this? Print single git repo. And then I don't really need yeah, I don't need to take any options in for this. But I can grab all of this. And then I can do something like this, although this is going to be something like that. Okay, this seems fine. And then I can replace all of this with print single return. Actually, I'll just do else. Actually, do I want to do else and have this all tabbed in like this? These are the questions. I'm going to say no for now, just because it keeps it a little bit better for now. And then permission denied tests. Oh, because I'm in pip. Oh, I want what do I want? I want install okay, and then that still worked, and then we do GPM, I guess, A, or status A. Oh, I don't have any cached data. Git repository cached data, which is in cache, which data equals read file JSON. Wait, why did it error out? Read file JSON. Try, oh, because the file just actually doesn't exist. I guess we can accept both. File not found. Is this how you do this? No. No, I think this needs to be a tuple. Is that how you do that? There we go. Okay, perfect. So now IGM found. No tracked Git repositories. Okay, that's perfect. That is exactly what I want. So let's do track. I want track. See, it doesn't give me these. Okay, that's the other thing I have to fix about this. Repositories and repass. Okay. Wait, it still got mad at me? Track dot A. There we go. List. Cool. So now if I do status A, okay, it's just gonna list out all that crap, which is fine. So now def, I want, how do I want to separate this out? So I need a, So I have print single git repo, and then I want, like, I need to name this stuff better. I can do that later. I want to collect repository PRs, and I want a collect repository issues. So from here, I want, oh, I forgot I did this. So I don't think I need to create all this stuff. No, I can just, okay, so statuses, from PyGPM GH classes, import PR issue, and then GH import get issues, get pull requests. Do I really need to separate this out into two more functions like this? I mean, they're going to be in the same thing. Yeah, I just want def yeah, see, so the main problem I'm having with this particular project is I know like kind of what I want it to do, but I don't know exactly how I want it to output things. So I don't really know how I want it to look in the terminal. So I just kind of need to get some ideas down before I try to continue too much. So I guess a good way of doing that is, I guess I could print single git repo, and then we're going to have, yeah, see, I'm not sure exactly what I want to call this. So this is just going to print the tabulated collection of repository data. So what do I want to call it? Print tabulated collection. And then perhaps I do want this to do the whole repository. Yeah, why not? I can have more than one different type of status, I guess. So in that case, I will import repository, and then I'll have it take in a repository. Can I do that? Let's see. So GH classes, if I go to repository, so repository, let's see, does it have, I think it does list, nope. Owner license, it does not list pull requests. It does contain HTML URL. How do I, okay, so now it comes back to GH API, GH API. I think this is just what I want. Oh no, the REST API document. Nope. Quick start? Is that what I want? Maybe? Let's see. So I know I've looked at the issues in pull request section before. What about getting like the entirety of just repository data. Autolink. Create autolink reference. See, I don't know what that is. GitHub autolink. Autolink. Anyone with admin permissions can configure an autolink. Available. What is a GitHub autolink? Automatically creates links from standard URLs. See, I don't know why I would want that. Automate GitHub, the new autolink feature. I don't think I care about that at all. So I definitely don't care about this. Here, let's see. Is there create autolink? Why is all, oh, because I'm in the autolink section. Duh. Contents. Request the raw format or rendered HTML. Contents. Nope, that's not what I want either. Is there no way? Repos. Response schema. Array of repositories. See, that's not what I want. I want to pull like that repository data, but I don't want all the repositories from a given user or organization. I just want that, oh, get a repository. Is this what I want? Yes. I think this is it. Am I gonna have to change this so get issues, get pull requests? No, I'm not. Maybe actually. Could I do... There's a more quote-unquote Pythonic way to do this. Python casting... no, not casting. Passing a type as parameter? Is this what I want? TCP. Absolutely, you can pass a class name as an argument to a function. Oh. Yeah, but then this is going to get a little weird. What would be the best way to structure that? So, do I want to create a function that get API response? See, this is just gonna, if I do that, it's just going to go through like 3 layers of functions, which I think is perhaps a little silly and not really necessary. So for now, I'm just not going to do that. I'll keep that in the back of my head. In fact, I'll add that to do. Think about... I cannot type today. Think about function of GH module. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to do def get repository owner repo, and it's just going to return a repository. So something like that, and then URL equals whatever this says it is, which is actually just going to be the the same as the other ones, but just nothing at the end of it. So see, nope, this is going to have is instance, yep, no. Get multi API response, and then this is going to be get single API response, and it's going to be is going to have to be that. So then response is going to equal get single API response URL. And here see, I'm going to be duplicating a little bit of code here, but it'll make it more explicit, I think. I still don't know if that's the best way to do it, though. Actually, the only difference in these two functions is it's not going to be an isInstance list. It's going to be an isInstance dict. And the return type is different. I could do the assert after the fact. Yeah, why don't I just do that? This feels like an overcomplication. An unnecessary overcomplication. So this is gonna unfortunately be a type any, or Python type more than one type of return from function. Python typing. Type hints multiple return types. Should always just, oh. Earlier versions use union. What is the proper way of doing this? Union object, union type, bitwise or tuple. In the case, use tuple. Nope, that's more than one. Type of arg, return type, use. I guess since this project is using, what is it using? 3.9 or greater. Do I want to just commit to 3.10? I mean, it's just the more modern way of doing it, I guess, if it's the newer standard. Yeah, I think I can just do it like that. I'll just commit to this being 3.10. Requires 3.10. That's fine, I think. And then my Python version is 3.11, so that's fine. I'm okay with that, I think. So in that case, this API response will be a list dict or just a dict of str or any. Okay, I'm fine with that. And then we're just going to get rid of this isInstance and move it to isInstance response dict list same here, and then this is going to be get API response, URL, and then is instance response dict. And then we can return a repository of response, ** response, so it actually parses all the arguments properly. Okay, so now that I did that, I can go back to status, print tabulated collection. So now I need to get issues, get pull requests, get repository PR issue. Yeah, I'm just gonna say oh, don't want that. How do I want to do this? This is going to be a little bit messy. I was hoping I would have something clean that I can commit, but this is going to be not good for now. So the thing is, though, is I need both the owner and the name. Is that what I get from this currently? Owner and the name. Path for name and info. Name equals parse get status info path. Parse get status. Oh yeah. Hold on. I don't want to just comment all this out like that. I want to remove certain things. So we have the name and author. How are we getting that? Parse get status. Info path, okay, that makes sense. What is, do I have it in track? Where do I have this? Making cache data, extract repository data. Get config.read. Okay, so from, do I want to, I'm going to be cross, yeah, because this isn't going to get imported. Okay, so I need to move that into, I guess I'll just move it to, like, util for now. Yeah, I'll move it to util for now. And then I need, hold on, first stream interruption, dog at door. You staying in here? I'm predicting that I will have to get up again shortly, but for now, we're fine, I think. Okay, back to this. What was I doing? Okay, config, and then I need to go back to track, and from util, we need to also import extract repository data. Okay, that seems fine. Now, if I go to status, I can also import get What did I call it? Extract. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna add this to do. Do lots of renaming, because this stuff is getting a little there's some stuff that I think is named well, but some of that is not, definitely not an example of things that are named well. Okay, so each time I want to call this, I have to grab, what do I want to grab? What, you want to leave now? You all done? All right, another interruption. Now my focus is really being destroyed, but that's okay. This is something I also have to practice, as I have to practice returning to focus after getting interrupted, which I think I maybe used to be able to do better when I was constantly in environments of getting interrupted all the time. Like, I used to do this type of programming in high school classes, but you know, neglecting to do the work of anything else. And I think it's possible I was just doing stuff that was a lot simpler, and because this, while isn't super complicated, requires me to think a little bit more than perhaps I had to do in the past. But I think I'm just getting worse at it, because now I'm really used to programming in a controlled environment of complete silence. But so in order to do this, so part gets status info path, not name info repositories. So repositories is get info cached items. So if I do print tabulated collection and I take in, let's see, repo directory, and if repo dir is none, repo directory equals just that, and then we'll say that this equals none. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change that a little bit later, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So then I want to get repository data equals extract repository data, and then the directory, which is just going to be the repo directory again, and then I can print. I hate it when Python does this. Not Python, more my IDE. I don't really like that it pulls up stuff like that. I have the Python, I don't even know what to call it. It's not quite an LSP or like a language server, but it's the Python autocomplete that's standard for VS Code. I have that installed just because I like the autocomplete that it has, but whenever it pops up a window like that, it prevents me from like seeing text above it or around it. That's really bad. I want it to do that when I like hover over something. Like that I think is useful, especially if I'm looking at getting stuff that's like outside of a different file or something, but or maybe like it's a Python standard one and I want to see something like this. But for something like opening a print statement, does it always do that? Yeah, that's really annoying. I have to hit escape and then go back into insert mode, and it's not good. Anyway, another side tangent. There's definitely use for having stuff like that, but for Python, at least for what I'm doing, I don't need that level of information whenever I go and open a function. That's just too much. Okay, so getting focused back on what I was doing. So I have this repository data, and I want to print the repository data, and I want to print the name of it. How does it return? repositories. Git repository. Did I not look at this? Oh, it did. This needs to be redone. But what that's doing is it's just getting the dictionary JSON. So, oh, and that's separated out into names. I'm not going to be able to get the names, but what is included? Oh no, it does include the name and the author. Is that all I need? I need the the author and the owner in the name. Is there a difference there? I don't. Author. No, I think I might need to change this to do change author to owner, just to make it more consistent with the GitHub API, because the whole point of this project is it utilizes that. So I should make the naming consistent, but I should get the author and I should get the name. Actually, these are using the wrong quotes. Actually, I probably could have just run pep and that would auto do it for me, but whatever. So now I actually do want to, then we do print tabulated collection instead. Yeah, I'll just make it do that for now. Oh, so the name is going to be that directory. See, that's really unhelpful. Is there something that I could do? I'm not doing something that I should be. That's what's happening. So, keep closing this file. So, URL get config.get data name equals. Oh, yeah. Is there a way I can get this out of the URL? I should be able to. So, and I go to repository, documents, repos. I'll just go in here, and then we do this, and then we go into Git, and then what are we actually looking at? Config. And then in here we have remote origin. Yeah, we have the, okay, so this, yeah, that's silly. I should not have done it like that. So this name should be URL dot split slash like that -1 dot split period 0. Oh, and then that's going to be even messed up because this, I changed the name of this repository. It used to be git pm, now it's pygpm. That's maybe a problem. Actually, no. If Git is still tracking it properly, then I can just copy whatever Git is doing. Because if Git is doing this, and it's tracking it like this, then that means that this URL is still fine. Is it though? Like I don't actually know. If I go here, no, that's silly. That's not how that works. But if I go to get PM, no, that's not right. See, it still does that, but then it's going to redirect me? Yeah, okay, it just redirects you. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And I don't need that open anymore. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be just fine, I think. So in here, printing name, yeah. So that's all well and good. So now when I do this, I want, what do I want? I want, see, this is the hard part. So what I'm doing right now is like really not very difficult, but I have to think about how I want the console output to be structured, or at least that's the part that I'm struggling with right now. I'm not really sure how I want it to look. So I have those two pieces, and with those two pieces, I can get the repository. So the repo is going to equal get repository of, so I need the owner, so repository data, so I need the author, and I need the name, and then I can print repo. Something like that. I should really update my test command. Well, that's a problem. Okay, so status 81. I mean, might as well just fix this. It's definitely not the thing that's causing the problem, but I might as well just do it so it's not going to bug me. Okay, so now if I do that, okay, MyPy finds nothing else. Okay, and then what was this is saying unexpected keyword argument permissions. Oh, come on. So unexpected keyword permissions. Should I just, but it's data class and I don't really want to. Yeah, so did I have permissions at one point or another? If I do get the response like this, is it going to be different? So like, repository, something like this, and then we get permissions. So this comes out of repo. It seems like it's always there, though. Huh, okay, I'm just gonna... see, do I want to make this a custom type, or do I want this to just be something that might as well just make it a custom type, I guess. Yeah, I'll just make it a custom type. Permissions, so we get admin bool, we get push, and we get pull. Okay, and then in repository, there's going to be self dot permissions equals permissions star star permissions, and then we're going to get actually know what that type is going to be. Star star permissions if permissions else none. So that will fix that, hopefully. Permissions. Now it's just not getting parsed properly. Well, that's not good. Classes, permissions. Got unexpected argument maintain. What? Maintain. That's not in there. Okay, well, I can... Where's this originating from? Return repository response. So try accept print response. Did I spell that wrong? I did. Good on me. And then we're gonna get permissions. Admin, true, maintain. GitHub, update your documentation, please. You know what? GitHub, hire me. I'm gonna. Part of this project is I'm going to apply to the I don't even know what it's called, the GitHub developer program, because that's part of the reason why I chose to do a project like this, is because it integrates with the GitHub API. Hire me. I'll do the updating of the documentation for you. I don't know if people actually work with the API like this anymore. Or not anymore. That's not correct. But I don't know if people actually do this. Like, are people actually doing work like this? Am I the only person? I highly doubt that I'm the only person, but I can't be the only one that's noticed that this documentation is just not up to date anymore at all. Anyway, so admin, maintain, push, tringe, pull. Okay. Oh. Still gets angry. Repository got unexpected argument temp clone token. Temp clone token. This is going to be kind of annoying, but optional. Not all of these should be optional. This should be optional though. Temp clone token. Actually, should this be optional? If I add this to here, so I'm guessing the temp clone, I'm guessing that's a string. So if I do that, allow squash merge. See, I thought I removed this because so now, so if I do GPM test, missing one required positional argument, temp clone token. Okay. So these are not standard things. So potentially another to do is GH API does not return the same type of PR or repo every time for different API calls. Make more classes. I don't really know what I would do. I guess I'm just gonna make it like an optional thing. So like this temp clone token, I'm not gonna store here. I'm gonna store here. So temp clone token is gonna be an optional string. And then token equals temp clone token. Yes, I don't have to check if that's none or not. Okay. So now if I do this, oh no, this is still going to give me a problem because there was another thing that I didn't add. But now if I do this, it works fine. Okay. So what was the thing that it was still getting mad at me for? Got unexpected keyword argument. Allow squash merge. Okay, so I'm just going to keep adding these here. Actually, no, I'll add them here. I'll add it here and see if it gets allow. Okay, I'm just going to close this for now so I don't have to allow rebase merge. Allow auto merge. Delete branch unmerge. I'm gonna have to create a separate module for each one of these like types of requests. Allow update branch. How many of these are there? Use squash PR title as default. Allow squash merge subscriber count, network count, temp clone token. Oh, and this isn't even included because again the GitHub API is out of date. Use squash PR title as default. I'm assuming that's also a Boolean. Squash merge commit message is going to be a string. squash merge commit message. I'm assuming is going to be string. Maybe it's list of strings. I don't know. Squash merge commit title. You know what I might do is I might just make a Python library that does this. Merge commit message. Merge commit title. Security and analysis. What does that even mean? Analysis any. I definitely spelled that wrong. Oh, come on. Network count. Subscriber count. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Python GitHub API. This already exists. Of course it already exists. From GitHub or import GitHub. From GitHub import auth token. GitHub Enterprise. Repo.name. Turn 4 days ago. Pi GitHub. Well, do I be stubborn and continue doing this myself? Let's see. GitHub access token scope use attributes branch clones commit enterprise git commit path permissions. Let's see, is there a pull issue pull request? Clash issue pull request non playable GitHub project. Rate limit, property GraphQL, notifications, name user stone, milestone, attribute. What the heck is attribute? Where are you getting that from? GitHub object. And this is from okay, so am I gonna be stubborn and just not use this? That's kind of what I want to do. GitHub object. I kind of want to be really stubborn and just not. Yeah, I kind of just typing, type bar, type checking. Class attribute, property value, rate. See, it's like, do I need this level of I mean, of course the answer is no. I don't need this much. Class GitHub object v3 add star to edit function. All GitHub object implementation. This allows to rename attributes and maintain. So if I go all the way back here, what was the example that it showed? GitHub ng.getUser. So where the heck is the GitHub scripts? Add attribute. What is this just? I assume this is just a script. I think it is, but it's not. You people aren't using things that I would expect you to use. So GitHub app, completable GitHub object. I'm getting unnecessarily upset with this. App, exception, integration, object, retry. Authorization, authenticated user op. Run script, fix headers. Body change files closed at comments. State title updated at URL. Maintainer can modify. Node ID. So if I go to my PR class, see, it does look different. So I do have the node ID. Do we get like the HTML URL? Yep. So maintainer can modify. Don't have that here. That's just a bool. And I don't get any error. So I'm a little skeptical of this because it seems to be different. GitHub Enterprise with custom hostname. Hostname API v3. Send an email to someone in the maintainers file. How many maintainers are there currently? Non-insignificant amount. Pull requests. A lot. Issues a lot. Pip install is depreciated. Well, that's slightly concerning, I feel. Okay, well, for now, I'm not going to do this. I was kind of tempted to start a project like this by itself. People, developer, program member. That kind of makes sense. Type interactions with GitHub API v3. Cool. Okay, I will consider looking at this because this like is a little bit nonsensical. Like you look at the mini map, like this is just a load of garbage. Although this is a lot simpler. It is a lot simpler. This is a lot simpler. I don't need that. This is a little much, I think, for me. I don't. Would there be significant consequences for me using it and or not using it? The consequences of me not using it is I'm just gonna have to do more of this crap myself, which I guess I'm fine with. I don't really know. For now, I'm just gonna continue as though we're not doing that. So and I do test and it's still gonna, nope. Missing 14 required. Oh, I added 14. Oh, that's hilarious. Wait, was it really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? That's so funny. That's so funny. You know what? I'll just let yeah, I'll just let Pep do that for me. I'm not going to go through the effort of doing that. Oh. Okay, and that will probably still work. Yes. Yes. Okay. Clear that. That's hurting my eyes. The text is so bright. Okay. And then cool. I can't do that because it's going to, yeah. It's just give me nonsense. Oh. And what did I change in GH? Yeah, that's all well and good. Is there anything else I've done that is good? No. Okay. Need, what did I do? Optional bars for different types of repo and PRs. Did I or start using the GitHub GitHub for the API calls? I don't know if I want to do that. I'm having a lot of fun like doing this by myself, but I can understand if that's just silly. Oh. Bump Python setup version for return typing. Okay. I think I'm going to call that good for today. I need to go eat some food. I felt kind of productive, but I didn't really do a whole lot. I'll come back to this tomorrow morning, and I'm just going to do the same thing, and I'll figure out if this is something I want to keep doing or not. So, don't really have anything else to say. I'm going to figure out how YouTube does VODs. So I know Twitch, they get rid of them after a while unless you save them as like a highlight. I'm going to figure out and do something similar with this, so I can always go back and watch it and listen to myself think and work and things like that. I think reflecting in that kind of way, watching yourself back can be very important, or not important. It can be beneficial. It's not something you have to do, obviously, but I find that at least when I was like playing competitive video games and stuff, if I was watching myself back, that was how you really got better at stuff. So, even if it's a subconscious thing for programming, how I approach typing or different key bindings I used, or if I go back and I listen to this and I catch something I did, or if I needed to change something. For example, like I read a piece of documentation wrong or something like that. I don't know if I'm always going to go back and rewatch. I did an hour and 30 minutes. I'll figure out if that's something I want to keep doing or not. But for now, that's all I'm going to do for today.